Welcome to ManXP. For more Manhwa content, please like and subscribe. Enjoy the video. The story begins 130 years ago, when the evil Silent Night group first entered the world. They went on a carnage and killed countless people. With the world in chaos, the martial masters of the world allied together to combat the threat of the Silent Night. They formed the Central Heavenly Alliance. The Central Heavenly Alliance decided to create a group to keep the Silent Night group at bay. They formed the Northern Heavenly Sect and elected the legendary martial artist Buck Jin Hu to lead the sect. The Central Heavenly Alliance supported the Northern Heavenly Sect for generations. With the support of the Central Heavenly Alliance, the sect obtained lots of techniques and spiritual elixirs. The sect grew in power and was able to push back the Silent Night's advancement. Generations passed. The Northern Heavenly Sect became respected as the battle with Silent Night continued. Countless strong martial artists joined the sect, and its strength and influence grow. The fourth leader of the sect, Jin Mu-Won, known as the Great Wall of the North, gathers an elite group of soldiers as his lieutenants. The soldiers are called the Great Four of the Northern Heavens. The Great Four of the Northern Heavens is Demon Fist, Jo Chien-woo, the Tempest Storm, Kyung Musang, the Cursed Ghost Blade, Yan Chien-hwa, the ruler of Iron Blood, Ja-hyuk, Shim. With the support of his four trusted lieutenants, the Great Wall of the North was able to keep the Silent Night away from the northern lands. After generations of battling, one day, the Silent Night just disappeared. The story progresses to a few years ago, after the disappearance of the Silent Night. Jin Mu-Won is 13 years old and the son of the North Wall, Jin Kwon-ho. The North Wall is bent on one knee and bloody. In front of him, there are thousands of martial artists in the home of the Northern Heavenly Sect. At the front stands the 9 skies of the Central Alliance. This group consists of the 9 most powerful figures in Nurim world that lead the Central Heavenly Alliance. The strength of this group is unfathomable. The leader of the 9 skies, the Seeker of Knowledge, Manhwa, asks the North Wall to confess to conspiring with the Silent Night. He refuses and states how he has always been loyal to his duty. The Central Heavenly Alliance decided that the Northern Heavenly Sect has become too strong after countless years of battling the Silent Night. With the Silent Night now gone, the sect presents a threat to the Central Heavenly Alliance's control over the mainlands. Within the crowd are his trusted lieutenants, the Great Four of the Northern Heavens. The Great Four of the Northern Heavens betrayed the North Wall and did not come to his defense. In front of so many strong martial artists, the North Wall is powerless. The North Wall is saddened by his trusted lieutenant's betrayal of the Northern Heavenly Sect. He looks at his son, Jin Mu-Won, and is concerned for his safety. He agrees to break up the Northern Heavenly Sect on the condition that his son survives. On such a public stage, the Seeker of Knowledge, the leader of the 9 skies, is unable to refuse for fear of backlash. He promises not to harm Jin Mu-Won. With this, the North Wall gives his last order as the 4th leader of the sect to disband the Northern Heavenly Sect and commit seppuku. He asks for forgiveness from his shell-shocked son. He leaves Jin Mu-Won as the last living member of the Northern Heavenly Sect. The story continues 3 years later. Now Jin Mu-Won is 16 years old. With the Silent Night gone for 3 years, people have started to believe that they have disappeared forever. The Central Heavenly Alliance uses the threat of a sudden re-emergence as justification for hiring mercenaries to keep watch over the area. But the true reason was to watch over Jin Mu-Won. They must ensure that he does not learn the martial arts and plans his revenge. The guards are assigned to watch the area for 3 years. Jin Mu-Won's father, the North Wall, only allowed Jin Mu-Won to read academic books. He was never taught martial arts and never touched the sect's martial arts books and scrolls. The sect has a great library of martial arts techniques called the Home of 10,000 Spirits. These books in the library were confiscated by the Central Heavenly Alliance and his father's 4 lieutenants. The 4 lieutenants took the books and the disciples of the Northern Heavenly Sect, leaving the sect abandoned. The sect exterior has been neglected, and no life exists around the sect for around 10 kilometers. The guards were unable to find any other hidden books or scrolls. After many years of seclusion and shock, Jin Mu-Won decided that it was important for him to learn a skill to earn a living. He then started to practice blacksmithing. The guards were skeptical, but did not believe that Jin Mu-Won was a threat because he seemed meek. They don't see the reason that they must be here for 3 years. One day, the guards decide to torture Mu-Won because they want to go home. They asked Jin Mu-Won where the hidden weapons and martial techniques are. They then ask Jin Mu-Won why they can't kill him and go home before the 3 years are up. Jin Mu-Won laughs, and in response, they slice his finger with a knife. Jin Mu-Won reminds them of the promise the 9 skis made to his father. He tells them they are not permitted to do this. He reminds them that there are still loyal followers of the Northern Heavenly sect, and that they will not let them get away with this. He confirms that there are no scrolls or books left. The Central Heavenly Alliance made sure of this fact. The others had the same idea as them, and he asks them do they wonder why those guards did nothing but wait for 3 years. The captain of the guards is infuriated and tries to attack Jin Mu-Won, but Siu Musang, the vice captain, stops him. He explains that there is some truth to what Jin Mu-Won is saying. The guards decide to leave him alone for now, but the captain reminds him that if he starts to act suspiciously, he will be given him permission to kill him. He walks away. The vice captain hands Jin Mu-Won a bandage to heal his injuries and walks away. Jin Mu-Won reflects on what he said. It was all lies. He had no one, and no one cared about this ruined sect. If they did, he would have been rescued by now. They are waiting for him to die. The next day, Jin Mu-Won walks to the top of the infamous library, home of the 10,000 spirits. He makes this walk every day. He lied the day before. There was still a great secret that not even the Great Four of the Northern Heavens knew about. The ultimate martial scroll of the Northern Heavenly sect was the base of the sect itself. When viewed from a high position, such as the home of the 10,000 spirits, the base becomes a scroll. When the sun starts to set, the walls of the Northern Heavenly sect start to cast a shadow on the ground. The patterns turn into writings in the sunlight. These writings are based on a forgotten ancient language from the Lower Moon Kingdom. The wall was built by the first sect leader, But Jin-Hu. It contains all his writings and the writings of the sect leaders following him, including Jin Mu-Won's father. To others, the writings on the walls look like ancient engravings, and it is only the sect leader can read the writings. But the scroll was in an ancient language, and not the common language of the kingdom. For this reason, Jin Mu-Won's father, the North Wall, made him learn the ancient language at a young age, rather than practicing martial arts. The guards believe that Jin Mu-Won is wasting his time at the top of the library. He is in fact learning the combined knowledge of the previous sect leaders. He is currently mastering the ultimate martial art of the Northern Heavenly sect, gathering of the 10,000 shadows. He is a long way from mastering it, and needs to keep up the illusion that he is weak and useful. He will continue to wait for his chance to strike. From the top of the tower, Jin Mu-Won can see a horse carriage approaching carrying goods. He makes his way down to meet the carriage. It turns out that the carriage is driven by Wang Qiu, a former warrior of the Northern Heavenly sect. Wang was the weakest warrior in the sect, but had an unwavering devotion and loyalty to the sect. Due to his poor upbringing as an orphan and weak talent for martial art, the other sects rejected him. But Jin Mu-Won's father, the North Wall, accepted him into the Northern Heavenly sect. He personally taught Wang self-defense techniques. For this, Wang is forever grateful, and tries to help out Jin Mu-Won whenever he can. Since the disbandment of the Northern Heavenly sect, Wang works as a traveling merchant for the White Dragon Merchant Troupe, one of the 10 great merchant groups in the nation. Wang brings Jin Mu-Won clothes and resources whenever he gets some time away from work. Wang notices Jin Mu-Won's bandaged finger. He asks if the new guards are bothering him. Jin Mu-Won lies and says it wasn't them, and it was an accident during blacksmithing. Wang hopes that Jin Mu-Won is not lying to him. Wang has bought food, medicine, and a thicker winter jacket for Jin Mu-Won. Jin Mu-Won notices a rock. Wang explains that it is a rock that fell from the sky that was worshipped as a sacred object by a rural tribe. The tribe resided in the Demon Fist territory and was killed by his group, the Broken Fist Troupe. The rock does not belong to anyone, and Wang found it on his travels. He thought it may be useful to Jin Mu-Won. Each of the Great Four of the Northern Heavens has created a martial force in the Miram and set it up in different areas. The cursed ghost blade, Yan Qianhua, settled down in the west, becoming the protector of the western heavens. The Tempest Storm, Kyung Musang, assembled a group called the Billowing Clouds, but remains secluded from the rest of the world. The Iron Blood ruler, Jat Hukshem, has the biggest martial force and has built the Iron Castle in the north. The Demon Fist, Zhou Qianwu, was known for his cruel and vicious nature, and created the bloodthirsty group called the Broken Fist Troupe. Wang and Jin Mu-Won go inside. The vice captain of the mercenary group assigned to watch Jin Mu-Won watches from a distance. He sees nothing special about Wang Qiu but remarks how impressive his devotion to the sect is. He considers it a shame that the descendant of the Northern Heavenly Sect is in such a pitiful state, and he is so useless. He walks with no purpose in life. He spends his days in the forge and climbing the tower every day to gaze at the sky. He senses no fighting energy, kai, or martial arts from him. The boy is truly unspectacular, but he was impressed by his lies to the captain of the mercenary group when he was being tortured. He thinks that the boy has remarkable decision-making skills at his age, and if he was taught martial arts, he may have been a strong leader. A messenger bird soars over his head while he is in thought. The captain of the group is annoyed because guests are coming over to the Northern Heavenly Sect. He reluctantly asks the vice captain to start repair work on one of the royal buildings so that they can welcome their guests. Wang and Jin Mu-Won are having tea, and Jin Mu-Won asks to know more about the world outside. Wang tells Jin Mu-Won about the exploits of Dam Su-Qian, who has the attention of the world because of his 100 martial arts challenge. He is currently the center of attention in the world of Nurim. Dam Su-Qian is the son of 9 Sky, Dam Juk, Shim, the unkillable master. At first, people laughed at him because he is only 18, but every time he challenged someone, he destroyed them completely. The mention of his name brings fear from many in the world of Nurim. He has challenged 93 people and not lost a single one. He is on the edge of completing one of the greatest records in history. The rumors are that he is currently heading north. Jin Mu-Won is impressed. After catching up, Wang makes his exit. The vice captain, Siu Musang, informs Jin Mu-Won that the sect will be having guests from the Central Heavenly Alliance next spring. Repair works will be completed on the palace building. Jin Mu-Won tells him to do what he wants and walks away to go to the library, the 10,000 spirits. As he enters, he is held hostage with a knight from behind. Jin Mu-Won could not make out the figure but can hear a woman's voice. She asks him, who is he? He answers that he is the owner of this place. She deduces that he is a descendant of the Northern Heavenly Sect. Jin Mu-Won asks her for her name. Before she can respond, the knife falls to the group. She collapses to the ground. Jin Mu-Won turns around and sees an injured girl with a deep wound in her shoulder. She is a teenager around the same age as Jin Mu-Won. Jin Mu-Won picks up the injured girl and starts to take care of her wounds. He notices a large wound that seems to be caused by poison. Wang gave him an antidote for poison, but it is his only one. He decides to give it to the girl. He then spends the night repairing her wounds. The next day, the girl wakes up. She notices that her wounds have been healed and bandaged. She wonders why Jin Mu-Won healed her. Jin Mu-Won explains that he could not watch as she dies. He then gives her food to improve her strength. She detects no Kai from Jin. She states that she will stay at Jin Mu-Won's place for the time being. Mu-Won asks for her name. The name of the girl is Eun-Hyesil. Eun-Hyesil is curious about Mu-Won's generosity despite the situation. He does not know if she is a threat or not, but still took care of her. Jin Mu-Won knows he is taking a big risk because he does not know the girl's situation, but he is very lonely. Later, Eun-Hyesil attempts to draw the poison out of her body by using her internal energy. It will be difficult as her internal energy has not fully recovered. The poison is extremely dangerous, and she is afraid that she does not have time. The effects of the medicine given by Jin Mu-Won are dwindling. Eun-Hyesil attempts to do so, but the poison effects grow stronger. Eun-Hyesil faints and is close to death. She regrets that she never got the opportunity to thank Jin Mu-Won properly. A mysterious cloaked figure descends from the ceiling. The figure picks up the fainted Eun-Hyesil. The figure then performs a series of techniques on the poison area. The figure is healing Eun-Hyesil. The figure is introduced as Soryung, the servant of the Eun-Hyesil and her master. Soryung's help removes the poison from Eun-Hyesil's system. If her treatment was delayed a second later, she would have died. Soryung has been looking for her since the incident. It turns out that Eun-Hyesil and her group were ambushed, and both Eun-Hyesil and Soryung barely survived with their lives. Soryung recommends that Eun-Hyesil stays in the Northern Heavenly Sect for the time being while he looks for their master. He believes that it was a smart choice and that their enemies would not look for them here. Meanwhile, Jin Mu-Won is in the blacksmithing workshop. While smithing, he recites a poem related to the ultimate martial art of the Northern Heavenly Sect, the gathering of 10,000 shadows. The ultimate technique was created by the first sect leader, Buk Jin-Hu. He was a genius swordsman who created the martial art after many years of wandering. The art has been improved by each sect leader since, but it still was not complete. Because of the shadowy nature of the martial art, it does not look like Jin Mu-Won, has built any internal energy or learned any martial arts. If Jin Mu-Won had a choice, he would not learn this martial art. But the Central Heavenly Alliance took all the other scrolls related to other martial arts techniques and kept a strict watch on him. He uses his sensing ability to check if anyone is nearby, and there is nobody. He grabs a sword. Jin Mu-Won tries to practice the first teaching from the gathering of the 10,000 shadows, internal shadow. He strikes his sword at a nearby wall. He assumes that the attack needs more practice because there seems to be no impact from the strike. But outside, a large amount of snow has been displaced. At dinner that day, Unhesil thanks Jin Mu-Won. She asks him whether he wants to know who she is. Jin Mu-Won says no because it would most likely ruin his dinner, and he does not intend to pry. Later, Jin Mu-Won goes to the top of the 10,000 spirits once again. He looks down at the sect and its ancient lesson. There is still one more secret within the walls of 10,000 shadows. He will learn the Blade of Eternal Darkness technique. This is a sword technique that was created with the sole purpose to kill. Jin Mu-Won has been practicing the basics of swordsmanship, so he can use this sword technique properly. 3 months pass. Jin Mu-Won and Unhesil continue to practice their techniques privately. Unhesil is still living in the Northern Heavenly Sect after all this time and asking for food from Jin Mu-Won. The guests from the Central Heavenly Alliance arrive. 2 members of the Four Dead Heaven sect arrive. They are the son and daughter of the Crimson Demon King of the Nine Skies, Shim Sua, and Shin Wonli. There is also a member of the Seomun family, Hai Ryum, the granddaughter of the Seeker of Knowledge. They are accompanied by a Four Dead Heavens general, Ma Kyun-pleon. The group is welcomed by the guards who take them to their rooms. The vice captain of the guards, Seo Mu-sang, is recognized by a member of the Four Dead Heaven sect. Seo Mu-sang says that he must be confused. The visitors remark on the poor state of the Northern Heavenly sect. They walk into Jin Mu-Won and Unhesil. Unhesil is ashamed that she was unable to deduct the group of people. Her senses are becoming dull. The group from the Central Heavenly Alliance introduce themselves. Jin introduces himself and Unhesil as his distant cousin residing at his place. The guards are surprised to see Unhesil as they have not seen her in the last 3 months. They have spent too much time repairing the palace to notice her. The captain orders Seo Mu-sang to find out who she is by tomorrow. The son of the Crimson Demon King, Shim Wonli, says that he will talk with Jin Mu-Won later. Unhesil is surprised by how quickly and confidently Jin Mu-Won lied. Shin Wonli discusses his ambitions to shake up the Murin world. He is disappointed by the state of the Northern Heavenly sect now. He then enters the blacksmithing workshop where Jin Mu-Won is working. He picks up a sword and asks him how he can live in a place like this. He inspects the sword before pointing it at Jin Mu-Won's neck. He does not believe that Jin Mu-Won has given up on martial arts. He tries to test Mu-Won. Mu-Won is helpless. He cannot show his strength yet, especially not against the Son of Nine Skies of the Central Heavenly Alliance. Shim Wonli attacks with serious killing intent. Jin Mu-Won prepares to defend himself and fight back. Shim Wonli feels weird pressure. Mu-Won comes to his senses and realizes that he can't fight back yet. He moves his body to ensure that the strike won't hit a critical point. The granddaughter of the Seeker of Knowledge, Hai Ryum, arrives and stops the fight. She remands Shin Wonli for his brash actions. Shin Wonli is confused by the word Kai he felt earlier. But since Jin Mu-Won was hurt by such a simple attack, he is convinced he knows no martial arts. However, he resolves to watch Jin Mu-Won from a distance. Hai Ryum gives Jin Mu-Won a recovery pill to help his healing and apologizes for Shim Wonli's behavior. When Jin Mu-Won wakes up, Unhesil is mad at him. She is mad that he could not fight back or run away at the least. Jin Mu-Won thanks her for her care. Hesil informs Mu-Won that she will soon be leaving since she has fully recovered. Recently, So Ryung secretly informed her that their master is fully recovered, and they will make their move soon. A warrior is traveling through the northern wastelands. He is being followed by a shadowy group hiding. He does not know who they are. The Kai they give off is different from other martial artists he has faced in the past. They assume that he is here to provide support to that woman. The warrior does not know who they are talking about, but he is happy to have a fight. The attackers attack the warrior using the chains, but the warrior grabs their chains and strikes back. The remaining members are surprised by his strength and sacrifice their lives to defeat him using a forbidden technique. The warrior is injured but survives. He remarks that they were stronger than he expected. Now that this is finished, He is almost at his destination, the Northern Heavenly Sect. Seo Hae-ryum approaches Jin Mu-Won to give him further medicine. She apologizes again and expresses her regrets over what the Central Heavenly Alliance and her grandfather did to his father. Jin Mu-Won says nothing. She asks Jin Mu-Won to trust that she is different from her cruel grandfather and tells him that she will help him in any way she can. Later she approaches Shin Won-lee. She asks Shin Won-lee, "How many times do I have to tell you not to mess with that man?" Her true face emerges. She tells him that Jin Won's existence as the last descendant of the Northern Heavenly Sect is extremely important to their plan. Elsewhere, the Demon of Chaos, Tatmu Kang, is fighting an unknown group. A servant informs him that one of his troops, the Hidden Ghost Troop, has gone missing. The scout informs him that they were destroyed by a kid. The kid might be staying at the same place where the girl is staying. He rallies his troops to go hunting. The vice captain, Seo Mu-sang, is approached by the person who recognized him earlier. The man's name is Yap-wol, and he is an elite tiger guard of the Four Dead Heavens. Yap-wol tries to say hello to Seo Mu-sang, but Seo Mu-sang is unhappy to see him because he thinks he stole his girlfriend. Yap-wol corrects him that she was the one who chose him and insisted on marrying him. Seo Mu-sang is infuriated and attacks Yap-wol with the intent to kill. Yap-wol quickly defeats Mu-sang. He breaks his blade and leaves light wounds on his arm. He tells Mu-sang to fix his attitude. He was only trying to be nice, and it is time for Mu-sang to move on. Meanwhile, Mu-won and Hae-seol are having dinner. Mu-won gives her a present he made in the forge. It is an iron rose brooch, and it is a leaving gift. Hae-seol is touched by Mu-won's kindness because she has never received a gift before. In the evening, she inspects the present. As she is inspecting the item, Seryun descends from the ceiling. Hae-seol hides the brooch and Seryun asks what she hid. She explains it is nothing to worry about. Seryun reminds her of the importance of never having any personal attachment, as she is the group's one and only hope. She agrees to never let it happen, but Seryun feels something is off. Mu-sang is experiencing deep anguish over the words of Yap-wol. He is training to vent his emotions. He questions whether Yap-wol is lying or if his fiancée actually left him. He wonders why she chose Yap-wol over him. He is more talented and has joined a great family of the Nine Skies. Meanwhile, he has been assigned to a dead-end guard job in a faraway land. He has been trying to forget the whole thing, but he has been reminded of his weak abilities. He is overcome by rage and wants to kill everyone. He has these feelings while training. Suddenly, he hears a voice. It warns him of the rage that he is experiencing will consume his heart in darkness and will not be the solution. Seo Mu-sang wonders where the voice is coming from. It continues to speak to him and tells him that the rage does not define him. Once he calms the rage inside, his mind will become crystal clear, as it will become the mirror that reflects the truth. Mu-sang continues to train while listening to the voice, and he releases a monstrous strike. He is shocked by the ki of the strike. Someone opened the door for him to reach the next level and put him on the right path. He wonders who this person is. Jin Mu-Won has finished his studying for the day and climbs down the library. As he leaves, he senses an immense ki. It is the warrior from the northern wastelands. Jin is helpless in front of the strong energy the warrior gives. This is the energy of a true martial master. The warrior is still bloody from his battle earlier and approaches the sect. He is welcomed by the guests from the Central Heavenly Alliance from earlier. Seo Hae-ryum is confused by his injuries. She asks if the last opponent from his 100-man challenge wounded the warrior. He tells her no, that man was not strong enough to wound him. Jin is shocked. He puts it together that this damn Su-chien, the young famous warrior making history in the Murim. He is the third son of the enlightened pillar of the Nine Skies, representing the Sacred Passage family. Dam Su-chien eases the rest by telling them he has dealt with the ones who injured him. He then asks about Jin Mu-Won. He is curious about Jin Mu-Won. Jin Mu-Won and Yoon Hae-seol are invited to have dinner with the guests from the Central Heavenly Alliance. Dam Su-chien is recovering from his journey. He thinks about Jin Mu-Won. Even though he has no Kai or martial art ability, he sensed something different about him. He is sure that Jin Mu-Won has inherited the will of the Northern Heavenly Sect in some shape or form. The next day, Dam Su-chien waits outside Jin Mu-Won's house to talk to him. He introduces himself formally to Jin Mu-Won and thanks Jin for allowing him to see the Northern Heavenly Sect in the flesh without notice. Dame Su-Qian has had intentions to see the Northern Heavenly Sect for some time. Jin Mu-Won smiles and apologizes that there is not much to see here. Dame Su-Qian asserts that the outside is irrelevant. He is happy that he has seen the one who has inherited the will of the Northern Heavenly Sect. Later, Jin Mu-Won and Eun Hae-seol join the Central Heavenly Alliance group for dinner. Dame Su-Qian is curious about Eun Hae-seol. He questions whether she is Mu-Won's cousin because she has such a strong Kai. The group explain why they came to the Northern Heavenly Sect and invited Jin Mu-Won to dinner. They are forming a new group called the Cerulean Dragon Society and wanted his seal of approval. They want to create a group so the younger generation can be heard politically by the Central Heavenly Alliance. The problem is that the older generation does not like when the new generation creates a new group. However, every single martial artist respects the Northern Heavenly Sect for battling the Silent Knight. They intend to use the respect of this sect and Jin Mu-Won as the current leader to garner support and influence. Jin Mu-Won agrees to be a witness to their promise. Meanwhile, the guards assigned to guard the Northern Heavenly Sect are attacked. The vice captain, Seo Mu-sang, feels something is not right because they are not answering his signal. He heads to their location to check their status and finds their bloody remains. Meanwhile, at dinner in the palace, Eun Hae-seol is suspicious of the Central Heavenly Alliance group. She tells Jin Mu-Won to stay close to her because she will protect him. Dame Su-Qian takes Jin Mu-Won to talk. Eun Hae-seol asks Seo Hae-ryung to leave Jin Mu-Won alone. She believes that Jin Mu-Won has suffered enough and does not need to follow their requests. The daughter of the Shim family, Shim Sua, tells Hae-seol that she should know her place. She is no different from them because she is taking advantage of his hospitality. Meanwhile, outside, Dame Su-Qian invites Jin Mu-Won to join the Cerulean Dragon Society and change the world together. Both Dame Su-Qian and Eun Hae-seol notice an extraordinary presence. It is the demon of chaos, Ta Mu-kang. The guards of the four dead heavens try to stop his advance, but he quickly dispatches them. Dame Su-Qian appears to confront Tae Mu-sang. Tae Mu-sang finds it funny that it is Dame Su-Qian. He makes fun of his nickname and cannot believe that he took out the hidden ghost troop. Dame Su-Qian realizes that the group and Ta Mu-sang are from Silent Knight. Meanwhile, inside the palace, the elite tiger guards of the four dead heavens are seriously wounded. Yap Wol warns the general of the threat. Eun Hae-seol is shocked that the demon of chaos followed her here. The demon of chaos and his group are the ones who almost killed her and her group. She warns Jin Mu-Won that he must run. But it is too late. The demon of chaos troops have invaded the room. Seo Hae-ryung also realizes that this is the Silent Knight and wonders what it would mean if Dame Su-Qian defeated them. Hae-seol gets ready to fight and protect Mu-Won. Outside, Dame Su-Qian uses the Light of Enlightenment skill, the famed skill of the sacred passage on Ta Mu-kang. He realizes that a victory here could raise his status even further. He attacks Ta Mu-kang with a move called the Three Consecutive Barrage of Light. He quickly punches with many punches, sending Ta Mu-kang flying and badly injured. He thinks he has defeated Ta Mu-kang and starts to walk away. However, Ta Mu-kang starts to crack his bones in place and stands up. He remarks that Dame Su-Qian is not too bad, but he won't be able to take him down with just that. He attacks Su-Qian and jumps up. Ta Mu-kang then jumps above Su-Qian and attacks him with an attack called the chaotic spin of the demonic dive. He remarks on Dame Su-Qian's arrogance to think that he stood on the top of the world after beating some martial artists. He leaves him alive to fight on another date. Shim Sua, the young daughter of the Crimson Demon King, confronts Ta Mu-kang. She asks him if he knows who they are. She tries to threaten Ta Mu-kang by telling him who her father is. The demon of chaos grows tired of her moaning and kills her with a single swipe attack. Shin Won-li and Seo Hae-ryung are shocked and devastated. Shin Won-li in his fury attacks the demon of chaos. He is quickly dispatched by Ta Mu-kang. Meanwhile, Hae-seol attacks the oncoming intruders while protecting Jin Mu-Won. Seo Hae-ryung is shocked by how her plan has fallen through. She tries to prepare another plan. She tells her servant to abandon everyone except Dame Su-Qian and Shin Won-li. She does not want anyone to know about the defeat of Dame Su-Qian. Jin Mu-Won makes eye contact with Hae-ryung before she escapes. Jin Mu-Won puts a short-term illusion on Dame Su-Qian to give the group enough time to escape. The elite guards give their lives to protect them while they exit. The demon of chaos wakes up from the illusion. After the escape of the group, Ta Mu-kang turns his attention to his original target, Yun Seol. Tan Mu-Kang resolves to kill her, because she is the one and the only hope for that witch. He destroys the palace with a single strike. Jin Mu-Won wakes and sees the Witch of White Night. The Witch of White Night is one of the ruler of the Night Four trusted generals. The ruler of the night is the leader of the Silent Night. The Witch of the White Night and the 3 other demon lords are deemed to be as strong as the 9 skies of the Central Heavenly Alliance. The group is the archenemy of the Northern Heavenly Sect. Yun Seol tries to fight Tan Mu-Kang to give Jin Mu-Won a chance to escape. It seems to have worked, as Jin Mu-Won is nowhere to be seen. She is easily defeated by the Demon of Chaos. The Demon of Chaos laughed that she gave her laugh away for such a pathetic coward. Seol is happy that she saved Jin Mu-Won, as he is the only one who has ever shown her kindness. Tan Mu-Kang is about to kill Yun Seol when his arm is suddenly sliced. Mu-Won appears with a sword and apologizes to Seol for taking so long. Tan Mu-Kang is confused. He does not understand what has hit him. Jin Mu-Won introduces himself as the 5th-generation leader of the Northern Heavenly Sect and prepares to fight. Will Jin Mu-Won be able to use the sect's secret arts properly? Will he be able to defeat the Demon of Chaos? How will the revelation of Yun Seol's involvement with the Silent Night affect their relationship? Like, subscribe, and comment if you would like another part. Thank you for watching Man XP. Please like and subscribe.